Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alan, and welcome once again to NOLA Theater Talk. We broadcast on a regular basis on Mondays now, the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group on the theatercriticism.com page that we have for support for social media, as well as on to my own YouTube channel. Again, tonight we are coming to you on D-Day, and it is I think, fantastic opportunity, remembering all of the lives that were lost on D-Day, and the fact that was when the Allies were able to establish a beachhead in France on their way towards defeating the Axis powers. And of course, our very own National World War II Museum was first, if you will, birthed at D-Day before becoming the National World War II Museum. All of those factors contribute today to being D-Day, that it's especially appropriate that we talk about going on at the National World War II Museum. Now, earlier this evening, two of the members of the upcoming Blonde Bomb show, reopening at the museum at the BB Stage Door Canteen, were attempting to come in and about the show, and we were looking forward to having them coming in. Of course, Hannah Rachal, who's a Victory Bell, and Bryce, who's been involved with a number of their shows. We are hoping to have both Hannah and in soon. They've had some problems with or with their machine. They could hear me. They couldn't hear me, but I could hear them, and just some problems. So I'm hoping here shortly. They're going to have to work that out on their own end. In the meantime, we do have some Stage Door Idols. We offered an opportunity to also talk about the Stage Door Idol competition getting up underway again after a 2-year hiatus. It's hard to believe that the very last Stage Door Idol competition that we had was all the way back 2019. And that was when Brittany Williams won the competition, seen there on the right, of course, with Jimmy Murphy. Again, she was the last team. The competition in 2020 was postponed. The competition in 2021 was postponed. And of course, here we're moving ahead. Tonight is the first night of auditions for Stage Door Idol. So you who have not yet to go down there, it's too late, but away still, because the audition going on between the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. And of course, Erica, the director of entertainment there, is holding court along Harry Marone Jr., who's on piano for accompaniment. And they're going to select, along with Jimmy Murphy, who's the MC for Stage Door Idol, more or less the competitors. They're going to be selecting who's going to be participating. I believe it's a field of 40 or so that they start, although it could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less, but they try to go for that. Again, Hannah and Bryce attempting to connect, and they're just not allowing them to connect. And if they're listening in, if it's possible that they're watching, or perhaps on one of our sites that we live stream to, I might suggest very strongly that they get another browser, that they try to get to a possibly it's their internet. Maybe they can get a better internet, maybe use a hotspot or something along those lines. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to hold the fort down and talk a little bit about what's going on with the Bombshells show prior to their arrival, as well as with the Stage Door Idols that we're going to have. But we have a number of people who have been invited to take part in the show tonight. I don't know who's in the show. I've sent out invitations. Several people have told me they will be in. Several people have been traveling, extended their condolences. Among them, our current Stage Door Idol winner, Brittany Williams, is unfortunately not going to be able to join us, and she extended her condolences. Again, we thank her for letting us know, but I do want you to know that so Hannah and Bryce, whatever you need to do to make it happen, room just as soon as you can get in there. I've got to kick you out again and ask you to please try to come in with a different browser, or perhaps to try to come in with a different internet connection. We're just not making any connection. And I do these shows where I don't check out people's connections beforehand because it is a problem. But usually a quarter of 8, we're pretty good. We usually can get people connected by that time. As is usually the typical thing that we do in the show, we tell people to bring a drink in, and the idea is it's more or less not out of a jest of making people bring drinks in. And the idea is that it's a literal icebreaker. And if you've ever seen a talk show, at late, they all have something to drink. Usually not something alcoholic. Oh, goodness gracious. I believe that they're coming in right now. There they are. All right. Did you follow my instructions? What did we get?
Well, we had to enter on my phone. So here we are.
All right. I told you a hotspot will work. So I was just telling everybody that I brought in a Mont cocktail, which I'd never heard of before, but I wanted to get something that talked about D-Day. And of course, because the Allies landed on all the different beaches, Omaha, et cetera, and I wanted to basically have something that dealt with France. And of course, Montmartre is a neighborhood outside of Paris. It's sort of like Gentilly in New Orleans.
Right.
but so I made this, and this is 1.5 ounces of gin, 1 1/4 ounce, a 1/2 ounce of sweet vermouth, and another 1/2 ounce of sec with a cherry to garnish. And I'm going to let you know what it tastes like because I haven't tasted it yet.
Okay. Yeah, sounds very fancy.
It's quite refreshing. For the summer, it's not bad at all. So,
Okay.
Gin drinks are very nice for the summer. A lot of British people like them in the summertime, as you probably know. So I don't know what you all brought in. I hope you all brought something good for me.
Nothing really special. We, since we're both really tired from rehearsal, we wanted a little pep, and so we're just drinking Coke.
So I don't know if you saw it, but I did already have you prepared. I have your banner ready to go, and just we were waiting for you to show up. If you notice, up above you, you can see Stage Door Canteen is prominently displayed. And let me just, Bryce, before I get to Hannah, because she's a Victory Bell, and she's you've been in a lot of the shows, but not a whole lot. You've been involved. I know you played the Bing Crosby role in one of the Christmas shows. Yep. And you're not going to be reprising that this time, but what are you going to be doing in the Blonde Bombshells? What's your effective voice?
I'm just there to support and help tell the story.
It really is.
Throw out some more facts about
So you're not playing a particular person or entity. Okay, so
just Bryce.
You're the male guy. That's it. Okay, that's cool. And again, Hannah, was this a show that was written by in any way you? Because I know you've done some things on that, or is it written with you and Erica? Who's responsible?
So this show actually started a long time ago, back in 2014. Tom Hook was in, and I were both in the murder mystery that Sean Patterson and Ricky Graham wrote for the World War II Museum. And so I sang the song "Murder," he says, which is a Betty Hutton song in that show. And Tom just really saw and how much I enjoyed singing that song and how well it fit my voice and suited, how I like to act and be silly, because that's really a lot of who Betty was. And so he sort of came up with the idea a few years ago that we should curate a show about these blonde women. It was going to originally just be about Betty, but then once Tom and I started talking about it, we just realized there were so many wonderful women that we really wanted to talk about. And so we sort of expanded it, not just Betty. Obviously, there's a section where we discuss Betty and sing a couple of her songs, but we also have gone on to discuss, Vera Lynn. We talk about Doris Day. We talk about Frances Langford, Joe Stafford. There's so many of them that we talk through. Right. And so Tom really curated the music, and then I came up. I sort of directed the first one. Tom was music director, and then we got Sean Patterson to write the script, which was really lucky.
That's wonderful.
So I sort of gave him. We talked through what my vision was and what Tom and I had discussed. And Sean sort of took the reins on really curating all the facts and putting it in a really nice order. So yeah, it really has morphed over the years, and it's been a project that we wanted to do for a really long time. So when it got cut short from COVID, we were like, we have to bring it back. The name of the show is We'll Meet Again, so we have to meet again.
Well, now you did have a Vera Lynn show. We'll meet again at one point, correct?
That's this show. Yes.
Yeah.
That's this show. So it
So,
we talked.
but she was alive when you did it, right? She passed away recently.
Yeah.
After what, 103 or something, 102, 103, whatever it was.
103. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing career. And for those of you who don't know who Vera Lynn is, you may remember at the end of Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Love the Bomb, or whatever the title is, she sings "We'll Meet Again," and the bombs are going off. I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but that's the way it ends. And again, for those of you who are not familiar with perhaps Betty Hutton, Betty Hutton was in a number of movies. Annie Get Your Gun. She took over the role from Judy Garland, and she was also in, I think, The Greatest Show on Earth, perhaps. I think perhaps in that one. And
quite a few.
And she was famous for doing, as you said, a lot of these comical roles.
Yes.
Just very well. Let's put it this way: she tackled those roles probably better than anybody else. And I see every year people who try to tackle Betty Hutton roles, and they don't get it as well as others do. I mean, I think there's some people that can do a comical role like that and do justice to it. And it's not that they're not singing their hearts out and doing. It's just you've got to have a certain something within your persona to really become the role like Betty Hutton epitomized those songs that she sang.
She was really quite a special performer, and she just had so much life and effervescence, and I love singing her songs. I always have. So when Tom came up with this idea, I just couldn't turn it down. So I'm so glad that he had the idea, and then we just kind of worked with it, and it was really a team effort on creating a really special show. I'm very proud of it.
I know that among the stage door idols, I think maybe Mom is the one who did Betty Hutton.
She does like to do a lot of Betty Hutton. Yeah. Mom does.
And again, she's going to try to join us in a little bit too. So, I don't know whether or not, I know you said originally that you could stay from 8 to 8:30. So we're going to keep you as long as you can be with us. Bryce, I appreciate, you're being here tonight too. But, the fact of the matter, a load of people who are going to be coming in, to commemorate the Stage Door Idol competition. But, we wanted you guys to go first. Unfortunately, we can't get you in the whole show because I know you've got to run off. You've got so many things, and you are rehearsing right now. So I want to thank you for taking time off from what will probably be your busy schedule to do this. Now, again, who else is on the show?
Who all what?
Who else is in the show?
It's just us, and then we
just
have
the two of you.
Piece band behind us. So we've got percussion, we've got a bass player, and then we also have Harry Marone is taking over for Tom Hook this time around, just because Tom is really busy with a new job that he recently got. So Harry's taken over as our pianist for this run of the show. So we're excited to have a new band behind us, and Kelly Fushi and I both choreographed it. So we actually met with her earlier. We were going through some of the old choreo, and surprisingly, a lot of it came back to us pretty quickly, even though we haven't done it in over 2 years. So we were very happy about that, honestly, because
that's fantastic. I see one of our Stage Door idols is already here. Kiana Linnell from Baton Rouge is in the room. She's backstage waiting, so she's in what we call the green room. And so we're going to get to her in a little bit. But in terms of the you're going to run, can you tell me that right now? What dates do you open?
So we open not this weekend, but the next. And so we will be running Friday and Saturday nights, and then Sunday matinees for 2 weekends. So starting on the 17th, and then we'll do 17th, 18th, 19th, and then we'll pick back up 24th, 25th.
25th, yeah, 24th, 25th, and
26th, yeah. So we've just got 2 weekends, so we're kind of hoping that everybody will hurry in and see it on these 6 opportunities.
I have to make sure that I'm there that first weekend, probably that Sunday. You're doing a Sunday matinee? Okay, I'll probably have to be there because I know that's a weekend that there are a couple of shows that are opening elsewhere too.
There are.
That it's like it's like crazy because we were closed and shuttered and no theater was being had, and all of a sudden, bam, the doors opened up and everybody's doing their thing to try to get more to come in. And they're smart enough not to try to do this during Jazz Fest and not to try to do it during Mardi Gras. But Again, tell me a little bit about some of the songs. You mentioned Vera Lynn, obviously, and Betty Hutton. Who were some of the other ones that you mentioned that are going to be on that I would know
Yeah.
that, or maybe some of the other people might know? You
So we're
mentioned
doing
Joanne Stafford, right? Joe Stafford.
Joe Stafford. We've got Martha Tilton. We've got Dinah Shore.
Oh.
Marlena Dietrich. Yeah. Peggy Lee. So who are your
Doris
favorites?
Day.
Yeah,
Doris
Doris.
Of course, Peggy
Betty
Lee,
Grable.
great jazz.
Betty
Yeah,
Grable.
Betty Grable, of course,
Yeah.
absolutely. But now Doris, Betty Grable and all the others you mentioned, except for Peggy Lee, really were not noted for writing a lot of music. Peggy Lee wrote a lot of her own music. So she was, a little bit different kind of performer because of the fact that she would write things, that would be her own repertoire, as it were. And she didn't depend on somebody to write the songs for her. Joe Stafford, I have to tell you, you don't know this, but Joe Stafford's was married to a fellow by the name of Paul Weston, who was famous for doing a piece about New Orleans called Crescent City Suite, one of the best pieces of music you'll ever hear about New Orleans, evocative of the French Quarter and evocative of the jazz idiom that came out of New Orleans, et cetera. And basically even documented some of the Mardi Gras Indian things that we come to know and love. He did this beautiful suite that was used in so many commercials as I was growing up for Dixie beer and for different car dealerships and things of that sort. And you'd imagine you'd see like the Dixie beer commercials where the beer would sort of overflow the glass, and you hear this clarinet music in the background. You'd say, oh, wow, that's really sounds like New Orleans. And sure enough, that was Crescent City Suite. Paul Weston was married to Joe Stafford. And I used to actually answer the phone or call over to their Beverly Hills home to order records of the Crescent City Suite on CD or tape or on record albums, et cetera, that we used to get, because we used to get them direct from Paul. And usually Joe would answer the phone and said, Paul's not here, but I'll take the order for you. So,
wow.
And again, what was amazing about her, I don't know if you know this, but she had what they call perfect pitch. If you said, Joe, please sing an E flat, she would sing that. And she was incapable, literally, of singing flat or singing off key. But she and her husband had stage persona known as Jonathan and Darlene Ed, and they deliberately sang off key and off pitch in order to be able to be comedic about it. They would sing things like Staying Alive, and instead of it being to the right, they'd sing it deliberately off, and you go, ooh, ow. But they knew what they were doing. It's very difficult to sing off key deliberately. And if you've got the tune in your head, you know how it's supposed to go. So anyway, that's fun. So Marlena Dietrich, what are you doing of Marlena Dietrich's?
Well, I'll give you a guess. What do you think I'm singing of hers? What's her most iconic song?
Well, the one that they do at the World War II Museum, of course, all the time is Lily Marlene.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that's what you're going to end up doing.
5 points for you, Alan.
All right. And the interesting thing about Lily Marlene was, because I believe it was a World War I song that was popular later on both sides of the equation. The Allies used it for themselves, as did the Axis. They all love that song, so it's interesting.
Yeah, it reached across barriers, I would say, that song. And if you really listen to and think about the words, it's a very moving song. So I really enjoy singing it, and I kind of picture it sort of tells a story, and I picture that story in my head when I'm singing it. So
did you say Margaret Tilton?
Martha Tilton.
Martha Tilton. Would you tell me something about she? Well, all right, don't worry about it. We may lose that connection from time to time, but here we go. We're back.
Yeah. So Martha Tilton is sort of she was one of the lesser known singers of the 30s and 40s, but she sang with Artie Shaw. She sang with Benny Goodman, Harry James. She was actually known as the voice of the name bands. So she wasn't, as popular as some of the movie stars of the age, but she definitely had an incredible career singing with these big bands. And then also she did have a decent solo career too. So, she had a gorgeous voice. I mean, you could imagine singing with those amazing musicians and those big bands behind you. You have to have quite a voice to be able to carry yourself with all of that, and she definitely did.
Okay. And Doris Day, Sentimental Journey, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dreams Are Getting Better All the Time. That's the other one that we like on her Day.
So these songs all go back to the 40s, but an important, to remind everybody that even though they may go back to the 40s, they're still very popular songs that people still like to hear today. And of course, part of what the Stage Door Idol competition is about is to keep those songs sort of active in people's listening repertory, so that they don't go out of fashion and that they continue to resonate for audiences of today. And so far as you all are doing this show, hopefully people will be able to take part in some of the competition for the Stage Door Idols, and also go see your show and see what you all are doing with those songs, and hopefully enjoying that popular repertoire, because it's not enough just to have Stage Door Idol. You need to have those songs which really are evocative of the era, and I know that it's part of the mission of BB Stage Door Canteen and the National World War II Museum to keep that music alive.
Absolutely.
So,
we consider ourselves a living, especially the Victory Bells, but really all the performers that walk through the doors of the canteen. We really consider ourselves to be a living exhibit, because we really want to stay true to the era, from the makeup, the clothes we wear, to how we sing, even to something as small as how we hold our microphone. We really like to keep those details alive. So that's the kind of fun stuff that you'll see on our stage. And that's the kind of stuff that we I'm not usually a part of Stage Door Idol. The only thing I do with it is go see it, because it is one of my favorite things to do. I love it. I don't know why. It's just so much fun. It's so fun to see how people interpret those songs. But yeah, if you're looking for some good 1940s entertainment, we've got a full summer starting with our show, and then you can go every single week for the rest of the summer to see a little competition, which is fun.
There's going to be four weeks of pre-competition, and then the finals, right? It's over a 5-week period.
Yes, I believe
it's
it's
four. Is it 4 total?
I think 4 pre or semi.
Oh, free. Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So so the 5th week would be the deciding week. And normally, in case anybody's wondering about Stage Door Idol too, whoever gets a vote from a judge, there's 3 judges, and I have to tell you, I am very blessed. I have been asked to be a judge for most of the years that they had the competition. I don't think this year I've been asked yet, but we'll see. And if I'm not, that's okay. It's not gonna kill me. But again, as long as it's very difficult. I take it very seriously. And again, they have 3 judges. Now in the competition finals, they have 4 judges, because the audience votes along 3 judges on the first 4 competition nights.
Yes.
For the finals, there are no audience votes. And so, again, what I'm just going to mention that if somebody gets a judge's vote, let's say 2 judges vote for one person and they get selected to represent, and one person gets another judge's vote, it's possible their name would go into the hat, and they might get selected to appear. And I don't know if he's going to make it tonight, but a really good anecdote to that is a few years ago, Spencer Rocca missed out in the year that was, in the competition. He missed out in the week that he was there from being selected for that week to represent the competition. But instead of having all 3 judges, one of the judges voted for him, and his name went into the hamper, and his name got drawn. And the night of the finals, he was there, and he won the whole ball of wax.
He did.
So
he ended up getting a couple of shows at the museum. So he did the Elvis show, and
he did the Elvis show right before COVID closed down.
That also closed that one, sadly. And he did the Frank Sinatra show. So he's a very talented guy, and it's nice because a lot of times Stage Door Idol brings in new talent for us to use in our shows. Sometimes it brings in new gals that could possibly be Victory Bells. So I think that's also part of the reason I love it. It's kind of a way to be like, ooh, I might be working with these people at some point in the future. So it's really fun for me.
So Hannah, tell me, we covered, I think, most of the Blonde Bombshells. Again, it opens on the weekend of I think you said the 17th. Is that right? So that's when we have to look for it. And then the following week as well, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you're going to have what, I assume, the restaurant's not open yet, the American sector for serving food there.
The food will be available. They have been offering recently, I'm not sure if they will this summer, but they have been offering little small snack plates that you can take in. But
Okay.
the bar usually is open at least for a little bit, so you can bring a drink in. But yeah, we could double check on that. But I think that is usually what the case.
And for the finals, a lot of times they'll have like hot dogs or like a little box or something you can bring in as well. But my good friend Lena Prima has been a finalist. I know that Scoot has been a finalist as far as judge goes. And I think Chase Kamada's mother, Chase, of course, was the first winner of Stage Door Idol. Leah Chase, I guess Junior, you might say, Leah Chase, not her mom, but she was named after her mom. And I'm trying to think who the other ones are that they might have had on a regular basis. I'm not sure that the last one might be a floater because they might have somebody coming and going in. But it's always so exciting, and for people to root for their family members or the people that they know, it's great. And
oh no! Come back! We're gone. We only had 4 more minutes. Come in.
all right, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I don't know exactly what happened, but
Who knows?
Kiana's still here, thank God. So anyway, we're going to start letting in our Stage Door Idols in a little bit. So I want to thank you all for being here. I'm sorry that we've had this instability on the internet. I don't know if that was part of why we weren't able to hear each other earlier, but for whatever reason, this is a live show. We don't, make any bones about it. It is what it is. We try to do it as best we can. But again, I want to thank you all for being in tonight. Again, I would tell you break legs because it's very important that everybody know that you all are putting your heart into the show, and that Bryce, I know you've been doing some other things too. Anything after the show that you want to let us know you're going to be doing?
Not at the moment. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
He's been pretty busy, so I
you directed what cabaret was it? Cabaret not long ago at Rivertown.
January.
And even they had a little problem with the lights going out one night. I remember.
Yeah, that was...
So
when the lights went out in Kenner.
Yes. So anyway, look, you keep up the good work. And again, same thing, Hannah. I hope that everything's going well with you as well. I'll look forward to seeing you. I will hopefully get a chance to talk to Erica soon tonight because and let her know that I plan on coming that first weekend and seeing the show. All right.
Good.
So again, everybody.
Bryce, so I'm glad he was able to be with me tonight, and thanks for having us.
And who's the other pooch there?
This is Jack. Hi,
okay.
Buddy. He's a boxer, and he is like 12 years old, but he thinks he's still a puppy. So.
Okay. All right. Well, Jack, you take care of them, and I will usher in the idols now. Okay.
Wonderful. So, I'll see you at the show.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Bye.
Once again, Bryce Slocumb, and of course the very lovely Hannah Rachal. All right, so we've got Kiana in the studio in the back round. I'm not quite sure. She's got her mic off and her video's off, so I guess she's waiting to come in. But we're waiting for some of the other Stage Door Idols to come in. But Kiana, if you can hear me, if you're within earshot, come on, let's make this thing happen right now. There she is, Kiana, who is also not only just a Stage Door Idol, but a recipient of the Sarah Vaughan Prize for her singing. Tell me about that. How did you do that? I mean, I know how you did it with your voice, but I mean, did you think that it was going to happen? Did you have really good expectations? What?
I mean, I don't go into any competition thinking I'm going to lose.
No, but I mean that's a very highly prestigious contest. Greatest jazz vocalist of all time. And so, it carries with it quite a bit of weight, I mean, not everybody can say they're a recipient of that prize. So, was the competition a bit steep for you, or did you sort of handle it and just say, knock it out of the park? That's it. I was just going to do my thing.
It was very steep. The lineup of people on that stage, it was some heavy hitters up there. I just really, try to dig into who I am and have fun and let that portray on stage. That's my goal.
Last year, Kiana, we had a little reunion just like this, and you were unable to join. And I'm so glad you could make it tonight because, you're one of those people who have taken Stage Door Idol. And by the way, you won, I think, the year you were there. Was it $1,000 at that time, or was it $500?
I think it was $1,000. So
this year, and maybe because of the pandemic, they had 2 years to wrap some more money in. There is $2,000. So. So it keeps going up. Maybe that's inflation.
That was, I remember now. I used that money to put out my first EP. Like that was, yeah.
And so careers get jump started by this competition. Yeah. It's not just going back in time and doing old, things. I mean, we were just talking, as a matter of fact, about Betty Hutton, and who does better Betty Hutton than Molly Batch? There she is.
What's up, Molly?
I said than me.
And by the way, you have a new name on the end there, don't you?
Yeah.
Now I have to. Kiana, do you remember Molly?
I do remember Molly.
Yeah, she did some great work doing Betty Hutton as well. And now she's not only married, she's a stepmother. I understand you inherited a family. You said.
Yeah.
Is it two boys?
We do. We have two, and then
two. So you have two stepsons and two sons that in the family. And guess what? Another on the way.
Yeah.
And is this your first child? That's right, right?
This is my first. Yes.
Yeah. So a mother to be.
In August.
I just love that, the fact that talking about what Stage Door Idol has done for Kiana. She won the Sarah Vaughan Award, and we were talking about people who have used this to jumpstart their careers. And you've been teaching. You've been using your title for the benefit of bringing more people into the artistic sphere, so to speak, right?
Yeah. So while I was doing this, I was actually getting my degree, and I think finished the year that I won, and then moved on to teaching. And I actually took a little hiatus in January, about spring semester essentially, but I'll be teaching at a different high school in August. So lots of things coming up in August.
Kiana, you're from Baton Rouge, correct?
I'm not. I'm from Texas.
Oh, you're from Texas. Okay. But you live in Baton Rouge, right? Or not?
In between.
Somewhere near Baton Rouge. Okay. So you're not a resident of New Orleans. Molly was living in Alabama the last I checked, right? So that's so your latest, but you went to school at the University of Southern Mississippi, right?
I did.
And Kiana, where did you go? Would you go to Texas for your college education?
I graduated from LSU.
Where?
LSU.
LSU. So that was how you, yeah. She's got a great voice. You just have to speak up sometime. All right. And again, we have some more idols coming in a little bit, but I want to just let everybody know that I already introduced everybody. This is a Mont cocktail I brought in. And as I say, I always have something. You all can tell me what you brought. Let me go with Kiana first. Kiana, what do you have there? I
have a, I'm going to say it's a raspberry martini. Yep.
Raspberry martini.
Yep.
Molly, you can't have anything, Molly, that's alcoholic. You're a mother to be.
I actually just told my husband, like, he's got some SoPro beer in the fridge, and I was like, you can grab a drink. And he was like, no, he's too busy watering his plants right now.
Okay, I'll drink some beer.
You can have water. Make him give you some water.
You can show off what you're gonna drink. I'm having just a sparkling water.
That's lovely.
Lovely.
Right, and we this started up as a tradition when I first started doing this. And I want everybody to bring a drink in so they relax, and we could talk about that first to start
crowd control.
Okay.
If you
so now,
that's good.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. So, Kiana, I got, I think, some pictures. I think I got one that you're going to love. Let me make sure I've got it right. Let me see if this is right. Hold on a second.
Alan,
Yeah,
you need to share this with my PR
this
team.
one out.
Oh my God.
I remember that.
Beautiful dress too. And that's your mother, isn't it?
That is my mom.
Oh, that's so sweet. You know, and of course, I did have a couple of this lady too. That's when you won.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then I know a little earlier that was you singing, I think. Kiana, I only had a couple of pictures of you, unfortunately, but that there's one coming up. I don't know if he's going to show, but if Spencer shows up, I want to have one of Spencer because you know, he was that was because the next year he ended up, he's the only male winner of Stage Door Idol.
Yeah.
And again, like I was explaining earlier, his name went to the hopper as somebody who got one of the judges' votes but didn't win the week's competition. So anybody can win at any time.
Yeah.
And Kiana, you know, of course, there was a story that was about I'm trying to remember Christina Perez. Christina showed up second. She came in second. She didn't make it. You know, in the finals. She ended up going to the finals because she had one vote, but she didn't make it. But guess what? She ended up appearing in several shows, including the Louis Prima show that she did, Jump, Jive, and Wail. And she was also in the Frank Sinatra show, if I'm not mistaken, along with Courtney Anderson. So, you know, again, these things have a habit sometimes of working out for people in other ways. Spencer Rocca won the competition. He ended up, of course, doing a couple of shows, Elvis, et cetera, et cetera. So again, you know, it's fantastic to see people using that as a jumping off point to start their careers. So I want to find out, Kiana, right now, what are you doing in terms of I know you've been performing a lot. Where are you performing that we might be able to see you if you happen to be coming our way in New Orleans? Are you going to be doing anything like along the... Yeah, tell me.
I actually have a show tomorrow at the Ellis Marcella Center with Jermaine Basil.
That'll be fun.
It's called Divine Voices. And we're playing with the Larry Seaberth Trio. It's going to be Amina Scott on bass and Doug Belote on drums. It's going to be a really cool show.
What a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. I have a wonderful picture that I took of myself at the Sanger with Jermaine. I'm not quite sure. I think it was a selfie with on the camera. But she has been one of my favorite performers. And again, I assume of yours as well. And I remember going back to Jazz Fest, and I want to say probably late 70s or so when she was performing. I mean, she was perfect then, and she's gotten, you know, still fantastic, still gotten better as she gets along, like a nice wine that ages beautifully and you know has
Jermaine is, she's now 90 years old. So to even be in the presence of her as she is, you know, still making the changes, as they say, is phenomenal.
And a consummate professional. You're not going to find anybody who approaches the work with more dedication than her, you know. So again, I say that I'm so delighted, you know, that I hear that you're going to be working with her. And anything else that you've got besides that coming up, besides that show tomorrow, and you said the Ellis Marcella Center.
I'm currently working on an album. I'm at a writing retreat right now. Like, I'm in my little studio. I took a break to come talk to you guys. So I'm gonna go record at the end of the month up in Memphis. I just was nominated a governor with the Recording Academy again. So got lots of work going on.
So
go to Germany next month. I got
how many albums do you have out now?
I just have one. I released one album right before the pandemic in 2019.
And in terms of the title and where we could get it, where do you get it off of? Do you download it or do you actually have a full physical
I have both.
CD?
I have both. In jazz, we do both. So I have a CD that you can get on my website or at any of my shows. I have also you can stream it anywhere on any stream. Is the website KianaLinnell.com or what? It is. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Let's see if I do this right. We might. Did I spell it right? I hope I spelled it right. Is that right? It is or it isn't.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay, good. I just was making sure. There you go. So
I don't know what
if you need to order, that's where you order your records from, your CDs, or I don't know whether or not they make tapes anymore, but definitely CDs.
It's on
and definitely
Amazon. It's on,
and you can download it too. So
everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing now. I have a friend of mine who does literally millions of downloads. He has all of this stuff in his computer, and for every download there's like a quarter of a cent going to somebody, and at the end of the year he sends out all these checks. In some cases these people get massive amounts of money. I mean, when I say massive, I mean more than 6 figures, 7 figures that he deals with, so but in most cases the rewards are not as high. You have to really have a lot of people downloading your material. So the best thing to do, and that was the thing that always amazed me. I remember when Capitol Records signed MC Hammer, he complained about the money he was getting off of each individual, sale, because he said, I was selling more out of my back truck. I was making it out of my trunk more money than you all are giving me for each one. And that's a shame. Molly, tell me a little bit about besides being, becoming a mother very soon again, but this time, sort of on your own. What are you doing? I know you've been working a lot with kids, and you've asked me, I know, on a couple of occasions, to maybe come drive over to Mobile and do some judging, etc. And usually I can't make it because I'm so busy. But so what's the story about the new school? Are you going to be working, doing singing, or are you going to be working doing drama and theater?
Doing the same thing. It's basically just a transfer from one different high school to another. Like I said, I took the spring off, which actually turned out for the better, because I was absolutely sick as a dog. And I was actually in a production of Puffs here in the area, and I don't know how I survived doing that whole show run because it was brutal. But we did it because there's a lot of running and chasing and fighting and all kinds of crazy stuff happening in that show. I will be teaching at Spanish Fort High School, and what Alabama does during the fall is essentially a theater competition for the entire district, the surrounding area, and then the state. So it's competitive theater. They compete in monologues, scenes, musical theater, stage management, any kind of tech element you can imagine. It is some of the most fun you'll ever have, because the kids are just hungry for feedback. And of course, everybody loves a good awards ceremony and finding that they can move on to state and compete against other high schools in the state. One year I had a group that we took a 45-minute production of the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Oh, yeah.
And, it was so good. It was great. But in 45 minutes, they had to fully load the set on the stage, perform the show, take the set off before the 45-minute timer was up, and be behind certain go marks that qualified them for making that mark. But it's a lot of fun. So we do that in the fall. We do, of course, the International Thespian Society in the spring. And then usually there's some sort of spring show. So I know this year is going to be kind of crazy, just because I'm probably going to be out. I'm gonna probably be there for like a week and then be like, all right, guys, see you later. Gotta go. Right.
So you could be going for you get what, 3 months or so off to maternal leave?
Just 6 weeks.
Oh, it's all.
Mm-hmm.
It hardly seems worth having a baby over there.
I know. In fact, my mom called me. She's like, I feel like I need to come up there and stay a few more weeks until he's a little bit older. So. I said, Mom, you can do whatever you like.
I have some pictures. Charis was supposed to be here tonight, and I don't know why she's not here yet. Maybe she said she was traveling, so she thought she'd be finished and maybe able to make it. So I'm hoping, keep my fingers crossed. I also had heard from Margie Cates, who of course was one of the winners. You may remember Margie.
Yeah.
And of course, she did a fantastic job too. Unfortunately, she said she has to work tonight, so she couldn't make it. I did not hear back from Spencer, but I'm hoping that he he can make it, maybe even for the last couple minutes or so. But we'll just have to wing it as far as it goes. Kiana, I appreciate you being here. But again, I was hoping Charis would be here because she won. I think what was that 2018 that she won? I'm thinking I didn't have my camera guy. That's a phone picture, which is always never as good as my camera. And of course, Brittany was the winner in 2019. So, and of course, she'd also given her condolences or her regrets that she couldn't make it. She really was looking forward to it. But I don't know if you know, but Brittany Williams is now the co-artistic director of the NOLA project. And not only that, she's a published author, and a mother. So she's also, been doing quite a bit in terms of being a family member and expanding. She got married, has a baby now, and she recently did, of course, the fairy tales that they did with the NOLA project. Tell Me a Story, I think it was something like that. But anyway, she's now taken on the task of being a co-artistic director with AJ Allegra at the NOLA project. So, again, I'm not saying that Stage Door Idol was responsible for that, but it certainly, can't hurt, and certainly, is bound to elevate people's expectations of who you are when you can beat, all the competition, and that competition is very, very keen. You have a lot to be proud of. You have achieved a high level of craft in terms of what you're doing in terms of your artistry. And I have to say that both of you, were amazing and truly deserve to be named Stage Door Idols the years that you won. And again, I you can't win more than once, unfortunately. But I would say that one of these years, I hope that they have a reunion where they have all of the people who have won invited back, including Chase Kamada. I actually had hoped that Chase could come. This is not a picture of her at the first Stage Door Idol. This is at one of the same year, I think 2010, when she won one of the I think Big Easy Awards. But Chase, of course, is such a wonderful personality. I think this is another lady who won the third year, Joella, I believe. But I've never been able to hook up with her. I tried contacting her. She beat out all the competition, and believe me, the competition was keen the year she had it. So again, this is a competition which really requires a great deal of talent. It requires a great deal of forethought as to what song you're going to sing, because as we know, Molly, how many times did you actually sing a song in competition before you won?
Oh gosh, 4
times.
maybe?
4 times.
3 or 4? It's
Yeah,
3
at
or
least.
4.
And that's not to say that you didn't do great each time. It's just that the competition is so keen. Sometimes, a Betty Hutton song is not going to win against another song, and sometimes you're going to knock it out of the park, and there's nobody's going to be able to catch up with you.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's so important to talk about what this competition means to people and the long-term benefits that you have. I liken it to a certain extent as to what happens when because I'm very involved with Boy Scouting. When somebody achieves the level of Eagle Scout, they get to that level and people say, oh, they've reached that level. It's the same thing. When you win the Stage Door Idol competition, you are at that level. You can only go down. You've established yourself as one of the premium people out there who's not only singing but also emoting on stage, and that's the most important thing. When Victoria Reed was in charge of the competition, Erica, I think, has carried the banner high too. She always said, this is not just about the singing; it's about making an emotional connection to the, and that's what captures the judge's attention. Yes, can they sing and can they do the numbers correct? Yes, but the people who are able to actually make that emotional connection to the audience are the ones who usually get just a little degree above the others, that entitles them to carry the day. And I'm so happy that y'all have been here with me. I know that we also were expecting, if they got through the competition, we were hoping to see possibility of one of the people doing the competition's auditions for the first night now, mainly Erica and Jimmy Murphy, and of course Harry Marone. They were supposed to be here as well, but it's getting close to 10 minutes before the end of the hour, and a lot of the people I've been hoping would show haven't made it into the room. And again, thank you all for coming. I do know you all are busy. Real quick, so sort of to kind of wrap up a little bit, but Molly, when you do have the baby, obviously you're going to have some other things that are going to be, taking importance as far as it goes. But are there any things that you're looking to do once you get back into school, or anything you're going to do when you're not teaching that you are looking toward? What are some of your goals short term?
Wow,
that
that's
you're
a
looking
lot.
for?
I mean, oh gosh, with school, I'm actually a little excited to get back to school. I know this year's going to be kind of crazy, just with Sam Elliott being born and stuff. And no, his name was not intentional. We did not mean to name him after Sam Elliott. That just kind of was pure happenstance. There's been some really great productions coming up in the Mobile area. Mobile has one of the oldest community theaters in the United States. Joe Jefferson House, and this year's their 75th anniversary. So some of the shows that they'll be doing this year are Company. They're doing Rent over Christmas, which that's going to be really exciting. And a couple other really great shows. I know they're opening with Margaritaville, so that's always
okay. Yeah.
Getting involved, I love being involved with the theater people in the area. It's small and tight knit, much like the New Orleans theater community, and just full of good people. So yeah, doing that, spending time with my family. Hopefully my husband will take us on a vacation soon. He's sitting in the chair in the living room just laughing.
No, that's okay.
Our anniversary is next month. So
and did you all meet in theater? Was that where you met?
No, he is not a theater person at all.
So where did y'all meet? Where did y'all meet?
We actually met at our church here in the area.
Okay.
He actually
is he a preacher or something?
No. He builds boats for the Navy for a living.
He builds boats for the Navy. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
well, you need to get him over to the World War II Museum.
Yeah.
He probably likes some of the boats that are on display there.
We took the boys last weekend with his parents we took him to the aquarium. And that's like the first time they've ever seen anything huge like that. And then to eat. And then of course I said before we leave, we are going to Hanson's, whether you want. I said we have to go. Of course the wait was an hour long.
Yeah.
And they all looked at me like I was psycho. And at the end, they all really enjoyed it.
Till they got it in their hands, right?
Oh, they got
the snowballs, the snow blizzards.
They waited a long time. I was like, y'all,
it was worth it, Mom. Yep, it was worth it. Yep.
I've waited in the rain for some of this, and they weren't too thrilled about waiting in the heat. But 10 out of 10, Hanson's is always worth it.
Well, again, thank you for being with us tonight. I'm going to ask Kiana kind of a similar question. Kiana, tell me, what's the title of this new album? Have you come up with a title yet, or are you going to work on that?
So I do not have a title yet. I definitely can say that, I'm really excited. When you called me to come on the show today, I really was thinking about my time doing the Stage Door Idol and what this music means and what it means to, sing the Great American Songbook. And what I love about them is the story. The story that the songs of this era have are so just timeless and connect to people. And I think that comes from being written in a time where the world was in turmoil and unsure. And I feel like, the artists that are creating right now are also going to create some of the best work that we've ever seen in a really long time, because there's so much inspiration right now. I hate to say it, it's like some of the best music are the saddest, like detrimental stories. So I think that there's about to be a surge of music that is just going to be needed for healing for people around the world. And I'm excited to be a part of it right now. So.
We've seen so much over the course of the last couple of years. Obviously, the Black Lives Matter protests, et cetera, had come into being. A lot of people in theater are rethinking aspects of their past, etc. And again, the pandemic, the most dangerous thing that you could do, Kiana and Molly, was to sing. The second most dangerous thing you could do was to hug somebody. So it was like a terrible situation. We could not listen to one another sing and comfort each other in other ways. And so the fact that we're coming out of this now, hopefully, knock wood, we're not going to have any kind of resurgence, and whatever variants there are will be mild, and we're not going to lose any people like Ellis Marcellus and people like that who were so wonderfully important to our industry. When I say the industry, I mean the music industry, as well as starting the careers of other people who are so important. I just have to say that it's been a long couple of years, and I want to see us get back to a semblance of normalcy. And part of that is getting back into a theater or getting back into a club and enjoying music, so that we can take, the solace of those songs that you sing, and carry that message that those songs have home with us, so we can hum them when we get home and remember them. So again, I just can't thank you all enough for being with me tonight. I'm sorry it was a small room for us. By the same token, important. And sometimes I like some of these smaller sessions rather than have 5 or 6 or 7 people in the room and have to kind of go around and around. We never really get in depth with people. So it's a little bit maybe of a blessing that the others weren't able to make it. And of course, they're all welcome to show whenever they want to. If Erica showed up right now, I would extend this another half an hour just to get her message out, but I have a feeling that the auditions are going long tonight, and that she and Harry are going to be exhausted and probably won't have time to join us, especially at this late hour. But, the fact of the matter is that we'll continue this. And again, Kiana, tomorrow night at you said the Ellis Marcellus Center, was that at UNO?
No, it's its own freestanding facility.
Okay.
In the 9th Ward.
On the 9th Ward. Okay. So is that the one that's right past the bridge in that area?
Listen, don't give me the line.
All right. The Ellis Marcellus Center. I believe it's like not too far away from where the Do It Right or whatever it was that Brad Pitt, that area, the 9th Ward, right? I'm pretty sure that's where that is. But we'll just leave it at that. You all know where it is. Look it up on your own. No big deal. Molly, thank you for being here as well. Yeah. And again, the album, once you do have the title, I really hope that you'll email me, let me know what it is, and I will spread the word.
Everybody can stream right now. A Little Love. A Little Love is my album that I
Okay, and that's where we can get the downloads
everywhere. Amazon,
and everything.
Spotify, iTunes, everything.
All right. And I hope you get people out there to. And look, remember, one of the things about the show is that it's automatically archived. So everything that was said tonight, or not said, depending on when we lose connectivity, but anything that was on the show tonight will be archived. It'll be on the YouTube site. It'll also be on the other sites that I mentioned earlier tonight, which again, for those who don't know or checking out the Know the Theater Folk Facebook group, if you're a member, you'll have seen this. You saw the feed. If you're not a member of that group, you can watch it on the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, or for Facebook, you just want to see it on YouTube, it's on that channel as well. So again, we thank you all for being with us. I'm gonna close things out just a little bit, but I'm gonna say goodbye to both of you, because there's no sense keeping y'all. Y'all stayed long time tonight, and again, I know you've got stuff to do. Kiana, you've got your show tomorrow. Molly's got to take care of that baby.
I had nothing else to do.
Tell your husband that I'm so glad that you're in such good hands, and that I can't wait to see a picture of Sam Elliott. And by the way, my son's name is David Elliott, so I'm definitely taking care of that name. All right.
Yeah. Oh, we already ordered or already have on our list a giant blow up photo of Sam Elliott, and I was like, it's going in his room. Has to.
All right.
He's gonna be the coolest kid.
All right. Best of luck to you. I'm gonna say goodnight to you.
Cheers.
and I'm gonna kick her right now, and then the same thing, Kiana. Thank you for being with me tonight. It's been a pleasure, and again, best of luck with everything that's going on, and maybe some people will avail themselves to come see you tomorrow night perform.
Yeah.
All right,
Come
with
listen,
the great
follow me,
Jermaine Basil.
Yes.
And Larry Seaberth. What can you ask for better than that? All right. You take care of yourself. Thank you for being with me again. All right. And again, a good night to both of our stage door idols. And again, thank you to Hannah Rachal and Bryce Slocumb for being with us earlier. Once again, this has been NOLA Theater Talk. My name is Alan Smason. And again, we hope you're watching this on either the Theater Facebook group or the theatercriticism.com Facebook page or my own YouTube channel. And again, for everybody who was here tonight, thank you all again for being with us. And I will see you at the theater.